Seeking to drive the coast of the English Channel and split Allied armies, as they had done in May 1940, the Germans struck in the Ardennes Forest, a 75-mile stretch of the front characterized by dense woods and few roads, held by 4 inexperienced and battle-worn American divisions stationed there for rest and seasoning. After a day of hard fighting, the Germans broke through the American front, surrounding most of an infantry division, seizing key crossroads, and advancing their spearheads towards the Meuse River, creating the projection that gave the battle its name. General Dwight D. Eisenhower rushed reinforcements to hold the shoulders of the German penetration. Within days, Lieutenant George S. Patton, Jr. had turned his 3rd U.S. Army to the north and was counterattacking against the German flank. At the critical road junctions of St. Vith and Bastogne, American tankers and paratroopers fought off repeated attacks, and when the acting commander of the 101st Airborne Division in Bastogne was summoned by his German adversary to surrender. Within days, Patton's 3rd Army had relieved Bastogne, and to the north, the 2nd U.S. Armored Division stopped enemy tanks short of the Meuse River on Christmas. Through January, American troops, often wading deep through snowdrifts, attacked the sides of the shrinking bulge until they had restored the front and set the stage for the final drive to victory. The Battle of the Bulge lasted from December 16, 1944 to January 25, 1945.
Despite a lull along the front after the battles, the German situation remained dire. While operations continued in the autumn, the strategic situation in the west had changed little. The Allies were slowly pushing towards Germany, but no decisive breakthrough was achieved. The Western Allies already had 96 divisions at or near the front, with an estimated 10 more divisions en route from the United Kingdom. Additional Allied airborne units remained in England. The Germans could field a total of 55 understrength divisions. Hitler felt that his mobile reserves allowed him to mount one more major offensive. Although he realized nothing significant could be accomplished in the Eastern Front, he still believed an offensive against the Western Allies, whom he considered militarily inferior to the Red Army, would have some chances of success. Hitler believed he could split the Allied forces and compel the Americans and British to settle for a separate peace, independent of the Soviet Union.
The German forces launched an attack on the Allied forces, led by Adolf Hitler, Operation Mist, also known as the Andres Offensive, and the Battle of the Bulge, was a very large battle with a German front of about 250,000 soldiers against a mere 80,000 American soldiers. In this large German front sat 14 infantry divisions, guarded by 5 Platzner divisions. As the Germans drove deeper into the Andres in an attempt to secure vital bridgeheads, the Allied line took on the appearance of a large bulge, giving rise to the battle's name. On December 16th, 3 German armies, more than 250,000 troops, launched the deadliest and most desperate battle of the war in the West, in the poorly roaded and rugged heavy forest Andres. The once quiet region became bedlam as American units were caught flat-footed and fought despite battles to stem the German advance at St. Vith, Elsborn Ridge, and Hulfeis, and later Bastogne, which was defended by the 101st Airborne Division. A crucial German shortage of fuel and gallantry of American troops fighting in the frozen forest of Andres proved fatal to Hitler's chance to snatch, if not victory, at least a draw with the Allies in the West. Lieutenant General George S. Patton's remarkable feat of turning the Third Army 90 degrees from Lorraine to relieve the town of Bastogne was the key to defending the German counteroffensive. The Battle of the Bulge was the costliest action ever fought by the U.S. Army, which suffered over 100,000 casualties.
A first-person account by Sergeant Charles E. Catlick says, "It all began at 0500 hours. I recall being on watch 65 years ago today, December 16, 1944, in the Ardennes. One of 70,000 men in 4.5 divisions, covering a 70-mile front. I looked out across the Siegfried Line from his log-fortified snow-covered foxhole. The quiet was shattered by German artillery and mortars. As the enemy opened up on the 99th Infantry Division, the Battle of the Bulge had begun. The weather was cloudy and cold, and artillery landed in our area all day and night. Company F was awake and on the alert when it started, but thank God we had covered our foxholes with logs. I think the logs were the only thing that saved me and my buddies from being ripped to shreds by shrapnel and wood shards from trees blasted to smithereens. Some men who were caught out of their foxholes were wounded or killed.
Artillery continued to hit our positions on December 17th as German and American planes went at one another overhead. Eventually, the German artillery ceased. The 2nd Battalion was surrounded by Germans and separated from their regiment. We received orders to withdraw. We withdrew, leaving a covering force to an assembly point near Hunning, Belgium. No artillery fell on December 18th, and the evidence of the past 2 days' barrage was concealed under a blanket of new snow. The temperature dropped to near 5 degrees, and circumstances grew dire as we were low on ammo and food. The Germans were closing in for the kill. We moved along a draw, but the mortar rounds started landing in the draw, so the company moved into the woods where we were temporarily held up for a couple of hours. The company was given orders to fix bayonets. Company F and the rest of the battalion moved towards Mering, Belgium. At about 1500 hours, a German burp gun opened up on our column and pinned us down. Heavy weapons were called for.